Before we begin this meeting, if you're able, will you please stand while we take a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. No one has signed up to address the board tonight, so let's move on to agenda item 4, our student spotlight. Dr. Edmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. Mr. David McConnell, the principal at Yankeetown Elementary, was supposed to be with us tonight, but he was home ill today. So we are excited, however, to have 2 teachers with us here tonight. So we wanted to make sure we were still able to do our student spotlight. So I would like to introduce Mrs. Rothgerber and Mrs. Folkerts, who are going to tell us a little bit about the student spotlight from Yankeetown Elementary.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Autumn or Mrs. Rothgerber. I usually go by Miss Autumn in the classroom. It's just a lot easier for them to say. And here I have Miss Folkerts and Harrison Peacock with us tonight from Yankeetown. I was asked to come tonight to talk about Harrison. He was chosen for Yankeetown for the student spotlight. When I was talking with Mr. McConnell, he asked if he thought that Harrison would be a good fit for this talk tonight, because the whole point was to talk about student growth and how far they've come. Harrison came to Yankeetown 2 years ago. He came from an ABS classroom. He entered the ED classroom at Yankeetown out on a shortened 2-hour day due to a lot of different things going on. Harrison came to us nonverbal. He had no interest in talking to anybody, staff or peers. Within the last 2 years, well, as of now, he is now full-time. He attends all day at Yankeetown in the ABS classroom. We were able to transfer him back into the ABS classroom, and he is just flourishing. He talks with everyone. He has peers that he enjoys to play with. My own children also go to Yankeetown, and they just love seeing Harrison and spending time with him in the mornings before school starts. Harrison also, he was involved in our school talent show this last school year in, when was that, April? And he performed a song for the entire school. Not only the night that we did it for like the parents and the others that were participating, but then the next day or the next week when we did it for the entire school, he sang in front of the entire school and performed and got everybody in the audience engaged, clapping along and stuff. So Harrison's just done such great work. I'm very proud of him and how far he's come with his communication, with being able to express his needs. And now was he not only very uninterested in sitting in like small groups or even independent work one-on-one with a teacher, he now participates in whole group activities within the classroom. One of his favorite things, and one of my favorite things, is whenever he does the weather for us every day. So we pull up the weather, we call him our weatherman. He comes up and he lets us know what the temperature is, what the weather looks like outside. We look at the time like recess, and he'll tell us what that looks like. And we like to look at the radar to see if there's any rain coming our way, right? Yeah. So he's just such a joy, and we are so happy to see how far he's come. And I think that he really definitely represents Yankeetown in the best way.
Very good.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Harrison.
Thank you.
Come on up here.
Mom, you can take whatever pictures you want.
We had good weather today, didn't we?
Yes, good weather. Thank you for the good weather.
Nice job, nice job.
Good job. Thank you.
I hope I get to hear you sing.
Congratulations, Harrison. Nice to meet you, Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Mom, did you want a picture up front here with him?
Thank you,
Thank you for coming
Harrison.
tonight. Thank you.
Okay, our next agenda item, consideration of routine business. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. The routine business this evening includes approving the minutes of the school board meeting held on August 10, 2026, and approving the claims and signing the docket. I recommend the board approve the routine items as presented.
I would love to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Mosby, seconded by Mr. Franz. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 7.1, consider resolution 2026-10, a grant for temporary fringe benefit. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. Mr. Todd Armstrong has brought to the board Resolution 2026-10 for consideration and approval. This resolution once again provides a temporary fringe benefit to those employees who may not otherwise receive compensation during emergency situations or other circumstances that may cause school closings. I recommend the board approve Resolution 2026-10 as presented.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Baker, seconded by Mr. Skinner. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next agenda item, consider approval of a non-exclusive clinical affiliation agreement. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. WPCC Principal, Mr. Drew Girth, has brought to the board non-exclusive clinical affiliation agreements with Majestic Care of Newburgh, Woodmont Health Campus, and Brickyard Healthcare Woodlands for consideration and approval. The agreements state they will provide qualified professionals and make their facilities available to Warwick County School Corporation faculty members and students for practical learning and clinical experiences. I recommend the board approve the agreements as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion for Mrs. Wilhelmus, seconded by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 7.3, consider approval of a work-based learning agreement. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. Mr. Jason Fisher has brought to the board a work-based learning agreement for consideration and approval. This is a training agreement between the student, the school, the employer, and the parent and guardian. The proposed agreement will be used by Warwick County School Corporation students for documenting their work-based learning experiences. Mr. Cliff Whitehead and his team have reviewed this agreement. I recommend the board approve the agreement as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion from Mr. Eigner, seconded by Mr. Franz. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 7.4, consider approval of a data sharing agreement. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you. Mr. Jason Fisher has brought to the board a data sharing agreement for consideration and approval. The proposed data sharing agreement will be used by Warwick County School Corporation students who participate in the Indiana Career Apprenticeship Pathway, which is also known as INCAP. Mr. Cliff Whitehead and his team have reviewed the agreement. I recommend the board approve the agreement as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Baker, seconded by Mr. Eigner. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 7.5, consider approval of donations. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. At Castle Elementary, $2,500 donation from the PTO to purchase a typing program for their computer science classes. Also at Castle Elementary, a $9,244.50 donation from the PTO to purchase accelerated reader. At Castle North Middle School, a $2,111.18 donation from an anonymous donor for theater needs such as lighting props, costumes, licensing, and scripts. At Tecumseh High School, $500 donation from Kramer Consulting LLC and a $500 donation from Indiana Members Credit Union to be used for football team equipment needs. Also at Tecumseh High School, an $800 donation for the from the National FFA Foundation to be used for convention or career development opportunities. I recommend the board approve all donations as presented.
Make a motion that we accept the donations as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion from Mrs. Wilhelmus, seconded by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion?
I do have a question. I noticed we're paying, that the PTO from Castle Elementary is giving them $9,244.50 for the accelerated reader. How many other schools are using that? Because I know that used to be part of our program.
Yeah, we have not paid at the district level. We have not paid for accelerated reader for a number of years now. And the reason for that is we want to push our dollars toward programs that are research-based and evidence-based as tied to our goals for achievement. And accelerated reader data and research does not show that there's any kind of direct correlation for that. So some schools have chosen to still use it as part of like a motivational reading program, something of that nature. So if they want to push dollars toward that at the building level, they're allowed to do so in that context. But in terms of our dollars from the district going toward assessments or programs or things, we always want that to be evidence-based.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's a lot of money we're asking for the PTO to purchase.
Do you know,
If we're
Jason, by
finding
chance?
I would hate to give a definitive number. I would say it's between 2 and 3, but if you all would like me to check, I could.
Just other schools?
There's no hurry. We can touch base about that later. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 8, sorry, my glasses. Consideration of personnel recommendations. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Glover. The Human Resource Office has the following business to bring before the board tonight. Agenda item 8.1, consideration of employment, non-certified staff. Natalie Wells, a Braille Program Assistant at Castle South. Nancy Grant and Tamer Graham, Program Assistants at Castle High. Sam Reen Imran, 3.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle South. Emily DePhillips, Program Assistant at Castle North. Sarah Colson and Lisa Seib, 3.5-hour cafeteria positions at Tecumseh High, with Paige Williams, a 3.0-hour cafeteria position at Tecumseh High. Brenda Desai, 6.0-hour cafeteria position at Castle North. Ashley Hicks, 6.5-hour cafeteria position at Linville Elementary. Sarah Zent, temporary program assistant at Castle South. And Laura Gentry, a 3.75-hour cafeteria position at Sharon Elementary.
Motion to approve non-certified staff. Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Skinner, seconded by Mr. France. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Agenda item 8.2, leaves. Alec Brown, 5th grade teacher at Newburgh Elementary. Alicia Piper, 3rd grade Excel teacher at Chandler Elementary. Jessica White, program assistant at Yankeetown Elementary. Janet Harbert, program assistant at Chandler Elementary. And then Joe Bucci, 3rd grade teacher at Sharon Elementary. Alexis Krantz, program assistant at Newburgh Elementary. Kaden McKinney, program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Jennifer Watson, kindergarten teacher at Yankeetown Elementary. And Mark Meyer, math teacher at Boonville High.
Motion to approve leaves.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. France, seconded by Mrs. Wilhelmus. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item 8.3, transfers. Deborah Hancock, an educational interpreter at Chandler Elementary, to educational interpreter at Boonville Middle. And 8.4, resignations. Heather Eastwood, program assistant at Boonville Middle, resignation effective September 4, 2026. Amy Chestnut, program assistant Chandler Elementary, resignation effective August 31, 2026. Amanda Caudale, program assistant at Castle North, resignation effective August 18, 2026. Valeria Rothke, ABS program assistant at Yankeetown Elementary, resignation effective August 14, 2026. Angela Hilborn, 3.25-hour cafeteria position at Logue Elementary, resignation effective August 3, 2026. And Julisa DeLahaye, ABS program assistant John H. Castle, resignation effective September 4, 2026.
Thank you, Dr. Gresham. Agenda item 9, do we have any reports, Dr. Redmond?
And we'll have a report tonight from Mr. Fisher. While he's on his way up here, Dr. Walter Lambert was also going to make a brief report tonight, but he's home ill this evening. I did just want to put on your radar that next month, on our second board meeting, part of that work session time, we will advertise as executive session, because he's working with the buildings on their safety plans. And then he'll bring that to executive session to share with this group and talk through the safety plans, the process, and all of that. So that's just something to look forward to, second meeting in September. Mr. Fisher?
Thank you, Dr. Redmond. Good evening. I wanted to give the board an update on the iLearn scores and when we can expect those to be reported throughout the state of Indiana. At the August 11th State Board of Education meeting this month, the IDOE established cut scores in social studies for grade 5. They established cut scores in mathematics and English language arts in grades 3 through 8. We fully anticipate that those scores will be released in the month of September. In fact, guidance has led us to believe that we will receive those scores in September. Once those scores are released for students in grades 4 through 8, their families will be able to access those scores in real time as soon as the schools get them through the iLearn, what we call the family portal. So we're looking forward to those being released soon. The reason there is a delay this year is due to the new standard setting that took place. This assessment that we took in the spring of this past year was now fully aligned to the new Indiana academic standards. So in late July, there was standard setting in social studies, standard setting in mathematics, and standard setting in English language arts. So it delayed the score process or the reporting of scores to the schools and to parents and to families. So we look forward to providing you that information very soon, just as soon as it is available. We've had a busy beginning to the year in the Department of Learning. Last week, we had our grade level meetings in grades K through 5 for educators. That is a little earlier than we normally conduct those, but this year, due to the math legislation and the adoption of a new English language arts curriculum, we felt we needed to get that training to our educators as soon as possible. Beginning July 1st of this year, House Enacted Act 1634 became law, and that is what we commonly refer to as the math legislation. And in grades K through 2, for a while now, we've been issuing universal screeners to help us alert of any student who may have a reading difficulty or would show signs of dyslexia. We now are required to issue a math screener 3 times a year in grades K through 2 as well. The Department of Ed gave us 2 programs to select from, Forefront Education and iReady. We had a committee last year, so we are using the iReady platform, which is adaptive. It's very similar to NWEA Math Growth. So we had some training available for our educators to understand how to use the platform, how to identify a student who could potentially be at risk, and the steps we have to take to notify parents and families if a student is showing any signs of being at risk of falling behind grade level in mathematics in grades K through 2. We're also providing training on our new English language arts program, which is MyView Literacy, that the board approved last year. So we're really looking forward to implementing this new curriculum. Initial feedback from educators is that they think the program will be a good program, and we were just wanting to get that training to our educators as soon as possible. We've had title meetings with our title teams. We have 8 title schools in Warwick County. We've had an ENL meeting with all of our ENL our educators. And this week, we have a U.S. government ECA meeting, because now the government assessment in grade 12 or 11 counts as a student success indicator point on the new accountability metric. So we're wanting to get our government teachers up to speed on the assessment frameworks that they've provided for the government assessment. That is all that I have this evening. Does the board have any questions for me about the beginning of the school year or the reporting of scores? Yes, sir.
The math assessment that was added, is that assessed at the same time as English language arts? How long does it take each time? How much more testing are we talking?
Yeah, the iReady assessment in grades
Yes.
K through 2. Yeah, we're going to begin administering that in September. And then we will administer it throughout the year. We've got a calendar for that. What you're talking about with the dyslexia, by law, we have to administer the dyslexia screener within the first 90 calendar days of the school year. So we've got them spaced apart where they're not right on top of one another. But students will be taking this dyslexia screener 3 times a year and the mathematic screener 3 times a year. So it is a little more testing than they've been accustomed to in grades K through 2.
That math, is that similar, you mentioned the NWEA,
Mhm.
right? So is it similar format?
Yeah, it's administered on their Chromebook,
Okay.
and it is adaptive, meaning that for each question they answer correct, it gets a little harder. For an
Okay.
incorrect answer, it should get a little easier in theory. Also, there is a random guesser, for lack of a better word. If a student is just, they have a large sample of test questions and the amount of time it takes to complete one. And if a student's completing several outside that standard deviation, it'll pause the test.
Okay.
So what's the time window? Does it, I'm also worried about the additional testing. So do we do checkpoint with iReady and then NWEA and then in a couple of months more, like we have a BOY, MOY, end of year?
These are all very good questions, and we issue the mathematics screener in grades K through 2. So for the board, we don't administer checkpoints in grades K through 2. That's only in grades 3 through 8. So with the K through 2, those students do not have to take the checkpoints. The NWEA math, because iReady is so similar, individual schools have the option on whether they want to administer NWEA math or just the iReady. We felt that the iReady was so similar that we did not need to repeat it. However, there are some schools that have become so familiar with NWEA and they trust that data so much, they still wanted to have that additional assessment point if it was needed. But for NWEA in grades K through 2 math, it is now optional. So you can either give iReady or you can give NWEA math.
You can choose, you don't have to do the iReady if you want to do the NWA.
No, sir.
You
By
have to
law,
do that.
by,
Have to do that.
Have to do that.
by law, we must administer iReady. The DOE gave us 2 providers, iReady or Forefront, so we have to do that. The NWA is optional.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Thank you all.
So do you have any other board business?
We have a student growth and learning meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the admin building. And then our next policy meeting will be with the first board meeting in September, and I believe that's 14th. Okay, September 14th at 5:45 here in this building.
And we've got a construction committee meeting scheduled September 15th, Tuesday morning at 7:30. And then the personnel committee will be meeting on December 28th in September. September 28th at 5 o'clock, right here.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Let's not
September.
skip to
Like you are
December.
really-
That's scary.
Made me
That
nervous
year
there for a
went
minute. I'm like, wow, we are going through the year fast.
Oh, we're just skipping September and October, November.
Well, our next board meeting will be September 14th, 7 PM, here at Central Services. And then I would like to ask, would anyone on this, we need somebody from this board to represent as a delegate at our fall conference. Like, you'll have separate lunch on Monday, and you'll vote on board association business, such as new officers, any directors, budget reports. Mrs. Wilhelm has served last year, and would anybody else like to try this year?
I will do it if no one else wants to, but
I heard you
cer-
did a great job.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, with no
But
further
I will-
discussion, we have
Oh, my
Mrs.
goodness.
Wilhelmus as our delegate.
I think she's a shoe-in.
Wow.
She called the vote there pretty quick.
And that will conclude our business. Thank you.